Hey y'all, it's time to turn your notifications back on. It's ULG De La Ray.
ULGK.
And ULGJ. Welcome back to the group chat.
Yes. First, we want to talk to y'all about some red flags and green lights. That's where we'll be bringing up some pop culture events, current topics, getting into other people's relationships because we like to talk shit. So, I think we should start off with some green lights. Keep it light.
Okay.
We should definitely talk about Meg and Clay because they are literally so cute together.
They are precious. I love to see Meg so confident. I mean, she's confident all the time, obviously, but there's just something different. She's glowing. Sis is glowing. And, I saw a video of them in the gym together. So they're fitness buddies and yeah, it just seems to be working really well for her. And I love that for her.
I agree. I feel like she's her energy is different. Like you said, she's always been confident, but you can just tell that she's being loved. And it's just something you can't put your finger on when a woman is being loved properly. She moves different. Her aura is different. The air about her is very different. So I love to see it.
It's almost like that pregnancy glow. Do we think she's no, she's not pregnant.
I'm dead.
Not hot girl Meg, not yet.
I'm not gonna lie. I do think they're already married. I think they got eloped and they just haven't said anything yet. That's the vibes I'm getting.
How long do we think they've been dating?
I want to say at least since early summer, if not before that.
Okay. Love that.
I know when they first started posting them, seeing that they're at the same place on vacation and stuff. Mm-hmm. At first I thought it was kind of weird because he gives off very awkward vibes to me. But seeing how he always is taking up for her and standing up for her in public, that's what I really love for her. Because she just wants somebody to have her back. That's it.
Because you know who didn't? That nigga Tori or that bitch Kelsey. So yes,
or Party.
That nigga played in her fucking face. Because let me tell you, I only know one Party song. One. And I really like that song. But when he started dating Meg, I said, okay, Party, show up, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And then you showed your black ass. Embarrassing.
But when I seen homegirl started cooking meals, I said, oh yeah, she's sprung. She in love. She making the family food. She making him food. They locked in.
Right. I was like, no, you cooking Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And do we think Clay, is he mixed? Or is he just really yellow?
Honey, he is transparent. Let me
seriously.
do a quick Google.
And I asked that because, on the topic of her cooking him Thanksgiving, I wonder if he's ever experienced a Thanksgiving. I can't imagine what the Thanksgiving was like with Meg, but, one could surmise.
He's got a white mom.
Well, yeah, he ain't never had that type of Thanksgiving.
And I think his dad may be from the Bahamas or Jamaica or something.
Interesting.
Canadian and Jamaican is what I'm seeing.
Well, if he's Jamaican, he probably has good food.
You know what else he probably has that's pretty good?
I'm scared to ask.
Anywho, I'm sure Meg's pleased. I'm sure she's happy and satisfied in all aspects of life.
Yes. Clay's definitely getting off green lights for sure.
He is. Because also in her song Lover Girl, which is it Lover Girl, Lover Girls, whatever. Shout out to the Lover Girls. And the Lover Boys, which Clay seems like he is one of those. But she mentioned there's a lyric in that song that's when someone's on your level, this shit is easy. And if you don't take anything else from this fucking episode, find someone that's on your level. That's it. Just start there.
I agree. And I feel like I was going to touch on that because I feel like she dated Party because that was expected. It seemed like an industry match for her. But Megan is a fucking nerd and I love it so much. She loves her anime. You know what I mean? She has all these hidden talents and things like that. Megan is a nerdy girl. That's why, regardless of her physical appearance, that's who she is at her core. That's why I'm just yeah, Clay, that's a match. Easy.
That's a good point. That is a really good point because she is not, we all get hyper focused on Meg Thee Stallion and not who she is as Megan Pete. And that's why Clay's with her, for who she is outside of the
Mhm.
persona. So
She's an unexpected lover girl because they think she's just a hot girl, but at her core, she's a softie.
the literal, the quintessential example of an unexpected lover girl.
I'm dead.
Well, props to Clay. We love that for you. Teach your friends.
Yes, Lord.
Teach them.
Do they want to be taught?
Well,
So our other green light looks like Jay. I believe you know who Lateris is. You're gonna have to give us like a little rundown of that.
yes. Okay, so his name is Lateris Whitfield, and he is the host of the Dear Future Wifey podcast. And he talks about how he was married previously for 10 years. And he described himself as a serial cheater. And he recently talked about why it was that he was a cheater. Like he realized after filing for divorce, when he thought back to all of the women that he had cheated on his wife with, which when he said all of I was like, good Lord, like how many are there? When he thinks back
Jesus.
to all of the women that he cheated on his wife with, he was like, the one thing that they all had in common was that they were validating me, providing me with words of affirmation, reassuring me, affirming me. And so he said that he had to do some serious work on getting delivered from other people's validation, whether that was positive or negative. And after he, started working on that shit in therapy, he started writing a letter a day to his future wife. And I can't remember at what point he started the Dear Future Wifey podcast, but in, I think, like December of 2024, he said by this time next year, I will be married. And he is married to one Ashley Whitfield, who has nothing but great things to say about him and the way that he shows up for her. And their whole little love story sounded really, really cute. They started off as really good friends, and then eventually he got to the point where he was like, sis, you keep going after all these bum niggas, and can't none of them cover you the way that I can cover you. And I was like, oh, how beautiful. So they went on their first official Kayla, why?
I'm just curious.
So they went on their first official date on March 18th of 2025, and he proposed to her in July of 2025, and they were married somewhere towards the end of 2025. A reformed playboy, if you will. What do we think about that? I feel like y'all aren't fucking with it.
Do you can you really celebrate 10 years of marriage if all 10 years is adulterating? Like, I don't even know the word to give. Lord, today.
That has to be like, first of all, humiliating for his ex-wife. And now that he's like kind of building a brand and a platform off of like, oops, I fucked up, sorry, but I'm going to treat this woman like amazing. But so when Jalen, when you were talking about like how he mentioned other people were giving him like affirmations and, that's his love language. I feel like one thing that a lot of people miss, and I'm not even going to just say men miss this, whatever, because I mean, it could be true for whoever, but, when somebody is not in the thick of a relationship with you and, they meet your representatives and you're like, hey, I love words of affirmation. And they're just like, you're a king, you're special, you don't deserve this. Like, it's really easy for them to come in and provide what feels like is a supplement for what you're missing from your person when they're doing all these things. And like I said, they're in the thick of the relationship with you. I'm sure it's easy to get words of affirmation, but that's all that they're giving.
And that is
It's like,
crazy.
I wanted to have sex with all these prostitutes because they were showing me their ass and titties. Like, yeah, that's what the side chick's supposed to do, is make you feel good. She not here to annoy you. Like, what the hell is we talking about?
But also,
right,
the side chick, that can be her sole responsibility. because she's not in the thick of it with you
Thank
day in
you.
and day out. She's not seeing when you come home after having had a bad day. She's not seeing when you come home and you're dismissive, or she's not seeing when you come home after spending all night out with your boys and being drunk. Yeah. So she doesn't have anything else to go on other than how you present yourself in front of her to get the praise.
Pretty much.
But when you take off that mask at home with the bitch that's holding you down, yeah, you're not going to necessarily get praise all the time. And that goes both ways.
No.
It's not just about, the woman to the man, vice versa.
If all I had to do was come home and send a couple compliments and get my bill paid, honey.
Thank
Hello.
you. But also, not every situation is going to call for you being like your ego being stroked and you being pet on the head and like being told that, oh, you're just so perfect and you're so wonderful. Sometimes it calls for get your ass up and you need to take a shower. You need to shake back. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can't, some situations call for tough love. So yeah, I can understand if you want to be baby, like go to your mama for that. But like if you're going to be in partnership, we can't talk sweet nothings all the time, especially if like I know what you can be and I'm gonna push you to be better. You know what I'm saying? In a way that's like respectful. Like that's not gonna just giving you a dose of reality, like a fresh glass of cold water to the face when you first wake up. Sometimes you need that.
When you're saying this man's story,
am I romanticizing it because ChatGPT told me I have a tendency to do that?
Yep.
no, I'm trying to understand this. Is he trying to say that his marriage ended because he had an epiphany that he wasn't ain't shit and they ended the marriage, then he went to therapy and started writing these letters, or his wife left his ass for being not shit, so he had to go to therapy, in which he started writing these fucking letters that he turned into a podcast?
That's a good question.
And that is because I saw this quote and this makes me think of it. Think about all the people who hate you and they didn't get to hear your side of the story. That's what that makes me think of. And that's big facts right there.
Given, what's that dude's name? Derek Jackson with the sanctified bonnet? That's what it's giving.
And y'all know I don't know shit. Who's Derek Jackson?
He used to give a whole bunch of relationship advice and all that shit, and then it came out he was cheating. And his wife, he made like an apology video with his wife like holding on to him, and she had a bonnet on. And
Yes.
girl.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that now that you say that video. I remember that video. Yup. Because people were like, is she okay?
Correction, it's not a bonnet, it's a helmet of salvation. Thank you very much.
Ooh,
you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's the helmet of salvation. And I'm just like, girl, it didn't save you though, like from getting cheated on. And so, okay, so for, what's his name? I was finna butcher his name. So when it comes to him, it's just like, why did he want to be remarried so bad? Like, because it's like you wanted to be remarried, but it's like, okay, are you just trying to prove to the world, like, look, I can do this? That's why I'm just like, is this like a consolation marriage because you can't sit with yourself for longer than a couple of months and realize that you really like ruined that woman's life? And I don't know, it just feels really weird that it was so rushed. And it's like it's like it feels like he has a point to prove. And I'm not saying he doesn't love her, but I mean that's pretty extreme to me.
And also, did you write 365 letters is what I want to know. Did you make it through a year of letters?
And that's the thing. I don't know how long he was divorced before where he's at now. I don't have that context. I'm sure we can figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think he like, I think Dear Future Wifey's been a podcast for a minute.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think this was
maybe I'm getting the duration of his relationship with the new lady with the space in between the relationships. Cause I was like, wait a goddamn minute.
Write a letter and apologize. Write a letter for that every day. Did he do that?
Well, okay. Yeah. It said that the podcast launched in 2020. So he has been divorced and gone through, we can assume, therapy for at least the past 5.
And then was on quarantine.
Well, he didn't have an option.
He didn't have an option but to sit with himself.
Okay.
To figure out what the fuck's going on.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe this is more of a yellow flag, and that's fine. That's fine.
But you mentioned something before about the price for femininity, and I think that was a good point.
So him and his current wife, Ashley, they just did a podcast with, and I listened to it finally. It was, well, I know I have the tendency to romanticize things, but it was really good.
Not too much.
I thought it was really good. So the lady who interviewed them has been his individual therapist since he started going to therapy. They used her for their pre-engagement therapy, and then they're going to continue to use her as their couple, like as a married couple for therapy. And so
she's okay with that. She don't want somebody fresh and new.
I guess she didn't seem to have no qualms about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was interviewing them as like newlyweds.
The therapist?
The therapist. Mm-hmm. On his podcast.
This is not like a breach of confidentiality or, Okay, sorry, I'm gonna let you finish.
So one of the things that she actually said that there's a price for femininity and for masculinity. So let's start with the latter. So she said the cost or the price for masculinity is that, actually, let's not even talk about that because I don't remember what she said about it. So back to the price for femininity. What she said was that, like, if men want a feminine woman, you have to be Adam. And that doesn't mean, that you walk around beating your chest and you're super macho, but like, if you want her to be soft, if you want her to be able to depend on you, if you want her to uplift you with her words, make sure what she needs to take care of for the both of you is taken care of, so there's not that, oh, she's nagging me. If that's what you want your woman to dress up and look cute and put in the effort and, surprise you by initiating sex. You want all of those things. You have to be a leader and you have to show her that this is a safe place for her to let down her masculine energy. Because if you don't show up in your masculine, and especially as she didn't say especially as Black women, but I'm saying that, especially as Black women, we're going to show up in our masculine energy. And then at that point, we're bitches. At that point, she's nagging. At that point, she's acting like my mom. She blah, 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 blah. It's because you're not operating in what God has ordained you to operate in, and that is in your masculine. And for those of you who are listening and you might take it to a toxic place, we're not talking about toxic masculinity. We're talking about a man leading the way that God would lead so that she can show up as Eve, so she can show up as that helpmate and give you all of the things that it is that she is innately born with. So she can show up as that nurturer. She can show up as that soft place for herself and a soft place for you. And what the therapist, I don't think she articulated as well as I'm doing right now. But what I took away from that is, like, a lot of men aren't showing up that way. And then you want to sit here and talk about, oh, well, there's a male loneliness epidemic. No. Women are choosing not to be with you because you all are not showing up as the men that you are supposed to show up as. And it's like, if I have to be the feminine and the masculine, I can do that alone without the headache.
Why don't you just preach in here today?
Okay. I was finished out, but almost had to mute myself. To me, it sounds like a molten chocolate. One of them cakes. And it's like, for you to get to the ooey gooey part on the inside, you got to break the shell on the outside. And if I got to put up a shell to protect myself and feel safe, you ain't getting no chocolate from the inside. I'm sorry.
You ain't getting no ooey gooey. You're not.
Since Evangelist Jalen, came in here and preached to us today, a tidbit from like our actual group chat that we have been talking about over the past couple of months was just like the nature of men and not trying to change that. And so that leads me to an actual scripture, because this is something that has just been on my mind when it comes to relationships. But like Ecclesiastes 3. So y'all's homework for tonight, or for whenever you listen to this, is to go read Ecclesiastes 3, 1-8. But it's basically saying that there is a time for everything. And follow me here, because a lot of times when we think about men leading women and like leading the way that God has ordained for them to lead, a lot of men just think that it is that macho bravado attitude. But I mean, a man who is a real leader will follow like the scripture. There is an appointed time for everything, and there's a time for every matter under heaven. My favorite part is when there is a time to be silent and a time to speak. So I think when it comes to like just like the leadership qualities of a man should also be able to submit and listen. And yeah, that's where I was going with that. We'll talk about it more later, but read the scripture first.
Absolutely. And report back next week. Hell yeah. Me too, included though, for real.
So yeah, I think we can give Latarius a yellow light.
Yeah.
It's the yellow right before it turned red. It slow your ass down and stop.
When you right in the intersection, is it technically okay? I guess it is. I'm gonna keep going because I'm
you might
halfway
get
through.
caught on the camera. You might not.
See what I'm saying?
Well.
Honey, I hate to do this because I love my girl Cardi. But Cardi, Stefan, and Offset, we're going to have to give them the red flag for this week because they just got a lot going on. And mainly the red flag for me is for Offset because he's a clown. But
okay, sorry.
yeah. And it's just like, I had a friend, basically, we got into this big discussion because he's basically upset that people are trying to say that Cardi B leveled up when she left Offset and went with Stephon Diggs because he feels like they're the same person because they do the same things. And I'm trying to explain to him, like, it's definitely two different situations, and that's anybody other than Offset is a fucking upgrade. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
I agree.
Like, do we see the material we're working with? I say even off the rip, he's more attractive than Offset. That's already an upgrade right there.
And you know what? Okay, have y'all had this experience when it comes to men? Because men say all the time, like, oh, not all men, but it's always a man. But like, they don't like for women to generalize them, but yet they seem to not be able to understand like the nuances of that. Because, I feel like somebody would hear you say, oh, they're not the same person. But like to a man, they're just like, well, they both cheated or they both had multiple babies or, baby mamas or whatever. So they are the same person. But, we talked about Cardi before, how it's like, no, she values honesty. Like she has even said like, oh yeah, if he wants to bring somebody home, he can bring somebody home. And it's like, if they're quote unquote technically doing the same things, like he's procreating with all these different women, but like one you're finding out about directly from him versus like, oh, somebody else pops up and then somebody is getting interviewed on the Shade Room or something because they saw you at Nobu with Offset. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see why men don't understand the nuances of that we do. And it's not making excuses, but, because she still could have, I don't know, she could have anybody she wants, but, she still picked somebody else who has multiple kids born in the same year. But,
Okay. So what was your friend trying to say? What was your friend trying to say? And like, he was saying that Offset and Stefan are the same person, the same type of dude.
Yeah.
In what way? Because I don't know shit about it.
He was like, she knows how Offset was when she got with him. Like, he's a rapper. He was gonna be, messing with a lot of girls. And I'm like, it's different. Like the same thing Kay was saying. Like, of course he was amigos when they started dating, but like we also have to look at Cardi. Cardi was dating a nigga in jail. Like, let's be fucking for real right now. She was dating a nigga in jail, got famous, started dating amigos. Not she got famous because she dated amigos. She was famous and then she started dating amigo.
Bodak
This
Yellow.
nigga, thank you. This nigga continuously cheated on her in public, had to apologize to her continuously in public, married her, and continued to do the same thing. That's very different from being married to somebody and being like boyfriend and girlfriend. She's not married to Stephon Diggs. And she already said she didn't get pregnant on purpose. Like, they was just messing around and she got pregnant. She didn't want to give up her baby. Okay, cool, we got it. But like, it seems to me that she knew all these girls was pregnant because, I mean, we all knew it was in the news. So I'm pretty sure she didn't give a fuck. But that's different from being married and being like, this girl is posting you on Twitter every other day.
Right. And you made a vow
to
be faithful and you not versus like, oh yeah, we both doing our thing and we just so happen to have a baby.
Right. And they clearly, like, how Cartier said, yeah, if he wants to bring somebody home, cool. If I want to bring somebody home, cool. Um, they have an understanding, which is the main difference, is what I'm gathering. Because Offset, again, as y'all said, being married is different. And if y'all didn't go into that marriage with it being an open marriage, then yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that changed her standards. Maybe having that relationship with Offset was like, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't care if my nigga, did some things on the side as long as I know about it and I'm not getting embarrassed every other day on social media. I could deal with the shit. Maybe I can go
Because
do my own shit.
And that's I feel like a big part of it as someone who has been recently cheated on. I think that's what hurts. And I don't know if it's necessarily your ego, but one of the things that hurts about it too is like, you got people out here laughing in my face. You got me walking into rooms where people know things about you that I don't know about you. You got secrets with bitches who are sitting up here in my face, kikiing and ha-haing about plants, you know? And that almost hurts worse than the actual deed. So yeah, if that was not a part of the arrangement, fuck that nigga.
Like you don't know I'm married.
It,
I'm Cardi fucking B, bitch.
hello, absolutely. And so if her and Stefan going into this relationship was like, yeah, we can be together, but also like we're cool, communicate. That's all we're asking. That's literally all any female is asking for, is for niggas to communicate.
This nigga in the NFL, he just opened up a furniture business. He got investments. I'll say you can't pay your taxes. I can't divorce you because you want me to pay your taxes. And that's not an upgrade? What are we really talking about?
What
Let's
kind of
look at
furniture?
all
I need to
it's
see the
like
furniture.
it's like an artistic, when the couch be in a little wiggle and shit.
Okay,
That type
he's
of
on his
furniture.
Solange. Wiggle.
Yeah. I'm finna pull it up because she posted on one of them couches, I believe.
I am weak as fuck. Oh, that looks very like
Uncomfortable,
pretentious.
but
Oh, that too.
I'm dead.
it's chic.
Okay, you better come on with a furniture. Now that looks what is that? Is that a chair?
It's like a chrome chair.
Okay, interesting.
Who's sitting
The
in that?
the
Nobody over
fur
25 sitting in that.
mirror.
Okay, now
Oh,
that
that's
fur mirror is cute.
kind of cute.
I think it's supposed to be, like fashionable furniture, like not stuff that you actually really sit
Not
on.
functional.
Yeah,
It's
Okay.
for like photo shoots and shit.
I guess.
It'd be in some like Architect Digest or something. Yeah,
But like he got businesses.
but exactly,
He don't owe his taxes.
Right.
That's the point we're making.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
the point.
I kept looking at my friend. I said, "We just gonna have to agree to disagree, honey, because there ain't no way you changing my mind on this. I'm sorry."
Yeah, and I'm in alignment. The flag goes to Offset 1000%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Period. Point blank. End of story.
Literally. Not saying that Cardi B don't have her faults, not saying that Stefan don't have his faults. But we gotta be real. But this all ties into our main topic. We're gonna take y'all down Lover's Lane and talk about heartbreak to self-love pipeline. A true phenomenon.
Seriously.
Amen. I think Legarius or Laturvis, what's his name? He did that too. He heartbreak to new marriage pipeline. You know what I mean?
I am fucking weak.
What's his name?
Lateris.
Okay. Lateris.
Mm.
When I don't really care that much, I'm not going to try to correct your name.
It took me like 5 seconds to realize who you was talking about, and I was like, oh.
So funny.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
He tried. He was doing the heartbreaking, though, for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, ULGJ and ULGK are very recently heartbroken. Speaking for ULGJ, it has been, well, November and December obviously were like extremely challenging. But now, and honestly, I feel like it was after Kayla, when you came to Texas and
Mhm.
after you left, it was just like, okay, get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together, you know? Pour into yourself. Like, you have a life outside of your relationship. And I don't know why it is when we get into relationships, and I've told myself that I would never be that person who just becomes all about the other person in the relationship and then forgets the fact that I have an identity outside of this partnership. But that's 1000% what happened. And so, like, being out of it and being in a space where, like, I'm no longer crying every 5 minutes, it does feel good to, like, take all of that energy and not feel like I have to pour it into somebody else, and also just to pour it into myself.
And
Amen. Amen. And speaking for ULGK, yeah, it took me all of 2 weeks to get over that. I was like, "All right, let's wrap this shit up." Life goes on, you know? Like, you can choose to believe the lies of the enemy if you want, which we've done before, but, like, no. Um, Figure out, like, a way to just find, like, creative outlets, which is, we've been working on this podcast, and then, like, just other professional ventures that I've created for myself, travel plans, um, just trying to show up better for my community. I called my friend earlier on a walk, and, I hadn't spoken to her in, like, a year, and I was just kinda telling her, like, "I'm so sorry, like, for neglecting our friendship because I wasn't in a space where I could take on more and handle more and do more, outside of what I'm just kind of doing on a daily basis, especially with, I talk to y'all every day, and I just really didn't have the capacity for that much more. But it's like now that I feel like that weight is gone. Not to say that he's a bad person, you know what I'm saying? We always got to do the little disclaimer. Not to say like he was like dead weight, but I mean kind of. And as soon as I was just like, all right, we're done with that, and just life has just gotten so much better. I have more time to focus on myself and do what I want to do, reach my goals mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, all the good, all the things. And sometimes it does take that. Sometimes it does take you getting your heart broken to be like, girl, shake back. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And, like, even this morning, I text you guys. When I was in the gym, I had the greatest time in the gym this morning, listening to music, singing out loud, and I'm looking at myself like, "You were that fucking bitch." Anybody who fumbled you, anybody who played about you, anybody who couldn't be loyal to you, anybody who said that you were too much, tried to mischaracterize you, tried to gaslight, whatever the things, like, that's on them. And that's not me saying I'm perfect, because none of us are. We all have shit that we need to work on. But, like, at the foundation, baby, I'm solid. I'm solid as an ox. Period.
yeah. And I want to say, Kay, you mentioned you felt like it was like dead weight.
Mhm.
Something has to die for it to feel like dead weight.
So
Mm.
are y'all just preaching in here today? Okay, something
In
down
the
in your
pulpit.
shondo.
Mhm.
Literally. Yeah, and
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
like, I've never been happier for a death. Come on now.
Damn.
Sometimes
Yes.
you just listen, y'all know I'm
It is
treacherous,
a
but
grieving process, for
and I'm
sure.
so thankful that mine lasted 2 weeks. Like, I got up off that mourner's bench and it's like, let's go to the repast. Like, come on. We finna have chicken and green beans and do the electric slide. Like next.
And, like, even though I'm in a better place, like, I still have moments, but, like, I've been listening to Kayla, you heard me play that affirmation while you were in Texas. And one of the things that she says in this healing affirmation is, I know that it's normal to come into contact with my bitterness, but that doesn't mean that we don't live life in parallel. And so, like, yesterday coming on this trip to Indiana, like, I was on the plane, we were landing, and I don't know why, and I just started crying about the situation, you know? So, like, there are definitely, even though I'm in a much better place, like I said, I'm not crying every 5 minutes, and then I'm not crying every day, I'm not crying every other day, but I still do have moments where I'm like, damn, how do we get here? And there's moments where I catch myself just like replaying conversations, replaying, our favorite memories, replaying bad memories. And it's just like, notice it, recognize it, set a timer to
Mhm.
think about it, and then let that shit go and move on, because there's
Hmm.
no changing it. Literally. The
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And so focusing on something that's going to do those things, that's not productive. So,
And I think because 'cause I'm a little more far removed from my situation, when I start to have those moments, it's usually when I'm in the shower because I don't have nothing else to distract me,
mhm,
and instead of getting sad, I get pissed off.
mhm,
And
Listen,
it's not even pissed off at them, it's pissed off at myself because 'cause I'm like, "Girl,
come on.
how the fuck you let somebody play you like that?" Or, like, you think back on something, be like, "Damn, I believe that shit when he told me that."
mm,
Mhm.
I noticed all these things, and I still let that shit slide, like,
Mhm.
"You gotta do better than that."
Listen.
And then once I realize I'm, like, dwelling on it, I'm like, "Okay, you ain't gotta dwell on it, but these next niggas, we ain't got time for that shit. We do not have the time."
mhm,
Absolutely. And when I was like just kind of catching my friend up earlier, that's what I was telling her. I was like, I don't really care about anything he did or anything he said because, that's his truth. I wasn't fully able to show up as the type of woman that I would want to be just because of all of the stress and the strain that like in like the external factors. But regardless of what he did or said or didn't do or didn't say that I felt like I needed, let's look at the version of you who felt like it was okay to just accept that. Or let's look at the version of you who denied that like it was like working. You know what I mean? Because when you put in time and effort and energy to a person and you want it to work, that's human. There's nothing wrong with that. But deep down, if you knew this is not your person and you still stay, girl, you have work to do because you feel like you need to be loved so bad that you're willing to accept like somebody who, calls you names or just does whatever when he's mad and then will apologize. No, no, no. Like, let's look inward and like, let's not accept that anymore. And if that means like, I'm not in a relationship in the future, that's fine.
Mhm. And I
That's
think
fine
mhm,
it's,
with
like,
me.
ingrained in us as women that we have to try to make things work, try to do our best to, like, figure out a way to fix things, and it's like, men usually, if something don't go their way or they don't like something, they're like, "Okay, on to the next bitch, I don't give a fuck." And it's like,
Hmm.
w we're constantly like, "Oh, what can I do to make this dude happy? What can I do to fix this issue in our relationship? Because I wanna make it work." And it's like, all that energy into, "What can I do? What can I do?" I could be pouring into myself, loving on myself.
yeah. And I think for a lot
ULD free game, do less. That's the real cheat code
Literally.
and the life hack.
and no, that's on some real shit because in some of the work that I've been doing, things I've been talking with my therapist about, she's like, "Why do you feel like you have to perform for love?" And I was like, "Well, that's a real question that I had to like look in the mirror and be like, damn, why do I?" And it's not even just in romantic relationships. I feel that I got to do this in friendships. It's like, why are in certain relationship dynamics do I feel like I have to prove myself or prove my worth? And yeah, that's real. Those are
Mhm.
questions.
You don't,
You
but I
don't
mean, we live and we learn. You
live
know what
and
I
we
mean?
learn. And like even though the answer is as simple as I don't, or me simply existing means that I'm worthy and deserving, that's something you literally have got to tell yourself every second of every day. Because it's so simple, it's harder for you to like grasp it, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
There's this affirmation that I used to say all the time when I was doing affirmations, but the one that I never forget is, "I am loved, I am supported, I am one of a kind." And,
period.
like, anytime, like, really going through it, I just stop and say that to myself because it's like,
Mhm.
you're not always gonna have people around to tell you it, you have to, like, remind yourself.
You do.
Yeah.
Right, because if we start reminding these niggas, they gonna get mad.
Honey, honey.
You gonna call me tacky because I'm like, you don't wanna go band for band with me, honey, about who's actually that nigga who ain't.
I love that.
But
I love that.
as as far as my, heartbreak to self-love journey, because I've been out of my relationship now for, I wanna say, almost 2 years now, and
Ooh, praise report.
yes, 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 ma'am. And it's just like, I think I had like a real trauma response afterwards. I like, for some reason, I operate in extremes a lot. So I went from like being in my relationship to like, I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm going to do everything I want to do, everything I haven't been doing because I've been focusing on him. I'm going to put it towards myself. So honey, I splurged. I went to every concert I could go to because I was like, bitch, you finna have a good time. Whether you gotta go by yourself or not, you finna be outside. You don't gotta sit in the house no more. Like, you can look
Mhm.
good for other people. Like, come on now. I do need to slow my roll this year. I do still plan on going out and having fun and stuff, but I need to do it moderately,
Responsibly.
responsibly. Thank you. Responsibly.
Love
Mhm.
yourself responsibly. That's the message.
Literally.
Like
Woo.
that though.
No, honestly, like, you know, like the commercials, like drink responsibly, like
Drink responsibly.
love yourself
And you know
responsibly.
what? So not this past week, but I think I can never say this right, but like last week I was watching church online for the church that I used to go to in Dallas. And he was just really talking about like this year being honest with yourself. He was like, I forgot how exactly he phrased it, but he was like, let's be honest about like instead of calling it like rest, like actually pointing it out as like laziness. You know what I mean? Because we have a tendency to trick our minds into like, oh, well, I need this or I deserve this. And so when you say love yourself responsibly, I think that that's just such a good message because it's like you can do everything within reason. You know what I mean? Because some people will love on
Mhm.
themselves too much. And I don't even know if that it sounds right. It sounds wrong to say that out loud, but to the point
Oh,
where
it's
it's like
definitely a
you might
line.
be self-destructing because yeah, because you know what I mean? Because it's like you might be getting to a point where you're like overindulging. Like I
Mhm.
feel like we've all
Mhm.
done that. We all do it. So I like that message. That's my word for the week. Love yourself
Okay.
Yeah.
Love
responsibly.
yourself.
Responsibly.
Love it.
I definitely think I did it to a point of escapism.
Mm.
Mm.
And I think I started to realize that um the more I bought tickets. Because it was like I was buying them in advance because I was like, I didn't want to stop having something to look forward to. I was like, oh, once I go to this concert, I need to know when the next one is. So, like, I have something to look forward to, an outfit to get together, music to listen to. But then it was like, ooh, the end of the year's coming. Am I going to keep buying all these tickets? What am I going to look forward to after this? But it was just like, okay, instead of spending money, you need to actually focus on yourself in the things that you're doing. So that's
That
where I'm at
part.
There
now.
you go.
Because just because you spend money on yourself does not necessarily mean that you're loving yourself. So I think that's
Yes.
also a very
Lit.
important message for people to receive.
We
Yeah,
need
and
that on a
just
sticker.
on a sticker, on a shirt, on a hat, everywhere.
But do y'all think you need to be alone to grow? Like, do you think you can grow and be in a relationship at the same time?
I think you definitely can because I saw something that said, like, we don't attract what we want in a partner, we attract what we need to heal. But I think it's up to both people in that relationship to decide if they can do that. Because to be transparent in the relationship that I'm no longer in, after he admitted to being unfaithful, I still wanted us to like work on things. And it's like I was hearing what he was saying and he was telling me that question. Like he was saying, well, I need to do what I need to do for myself, and I don't think that I can hold space for you in this relationship when I need to focus so much on myself. So I think it just depends on the people involved. I would say as women, we probably are always going to say that no, you don't have to be alone in order to grow because we're, extreme multitaskers and like we're just able to balance life because that's what life demands of us. Doesn't necessarily mean that's a healthy choice. And so maybe those partners who walk out on us is, showing us what we should do when we have the option to do that, to make that decision. But I don't know. Okay. What you think?
I think it's like you said, I think it's just up to the people. For me right now, the answer is a no. I completely want to be by myself to heal and to grow, even as people are threatening me with relationships. And it's like I just completely want to be by myself because I mean, I have been in a relationship like on and off like for the past couple of years, and I have not been able to do that because I haven't necessarily gotten the reassurance that I feel like I needed to fully show up. And that is, in itself is an issue, but it's one that I recognize and it's one that I'm working on. So for me, just right now, I think it's so important to just work on the things that like I know I need to work on, the things that are like screaming at me, because my hope is that for one day, if I am in a relationship again, my life is going, it has its own rhythm, same for that person, and then we get together, we don't miss a beat. But in order for that to happen, you know, I got to take accountability for the things that I let slide, things that I need to work on, reactions, you know what I mean? Like thoughts, just everything. So right now, your girl is ULG solo.
Love it.
I like how you put that. Do you want to find somebody on the same rhythm as you? That was poetic.
And I think that is like, because part of
Then we
me
can do the
is,
dance, you know what I'm saying?
part of me is like, is this even a question if you're with the right person? Because I don't even think it's like, oh, do you think we need to take space to grow? I think we need to take space to grow. It's just when you guys, like Kayla said, when you're vibrating on the same level and you're continuously trying to raise your vibration, I think it's just like a natural, like, of course we're going to grow together because we're energetically aligned to do so.
I think you can grow together. I don't think you can heal together. I think if you still have like a lot of basic healing to do, you
Okay.
need to do that on your own. Because I feel like once you get to a certain
I like
level of
that.
healing, you feel me? I got in my flow state while y'all was talking. I was like, okay, yeah, we cooking, we cooking. And I feel like once you hit a certain level of healing and you understand like your boundaries and, just good communication, emotional intelligence, things like that, other things you can work on because nobody's perfect. You're never going to be perfect. So there's always going to be room for growth. But you got to be able to be with someone who's going to see you at that level. And it's like, I don't think anybody can really, you say you can, but like when you get into it and it's like, if I'm healed and you're still doing toxic shit, we're never going to move forward because you're going to be pulling me back the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that someone's better than the other. It's just y'all are not aligned with your healing.
Well, that's a big message right there. And I think that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Are you all aligned? And if you're aligned, I think the answer to the question is no, you don't need to be alone to grow. But if you're not, then the answer is
I feel like a lot of niggas, because I've been in the dating pool a little longer than y'all, a lot of niggas' alignment is off in this motherfucker. Okay? I'm gonna just say that. A lot of they need some oil changes. I don't know good car terms because I don't know that much about cars, but it's a lot of Hondas that is from about 1990 something that is acting like they 2016s. And I need them to chill. Because it's a lot of men out here that is our age that should be healed to a certain point, that should be open to starting families or being in serious relationships, but they still want to act like they 22.
the Peter Pans.
No, literally. So, I've been out here mingling, but I'm at the point where it's like, I'm cooling. I be on the apps, but it's like I don't need an app to find somebody to hook up with. And that's why I think people be getting confused because it's like, I think people be getting on the apps to hook up, and it's like, I don't need an app for that. I need an app to actually like meet people because it's like hard to actually meet people in person. But nobody on these apps is really trying to actually date. They just trying to vibe. I don't know what the fuck a vibe is. I'm out of vibes. I don't got no more vibes to give, honey. My vibes is depleted. No rollover, no nothing, honey. I'm out for the count. So, the girl who does my readings, she been saying that Scorpios, like, we need to like focus on ourselves and our business the first half of the year. Cause like right now, anybody that's trying to entertain us is not gonna be serious about shit. So I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense because that's what I'm getting from a lot of motherfuckers for real. But now let me not say a lot. It's not like that. But the ones I encounter, they not on shit. So yeah. But we say all that to say the biggest thing for our lovers and friends to take away from everything is you can't love someone else until you love yourself. So I hope all of y'all are on y'all's healing journeys. If you're not, I hope you find a space to where you can get that started. And then, do y'all have any updates y'all want to let our lovers and friends know about from this week?
No updates on my end.
Okay, about you?
Hit me up if you need tax prep.
Period.
That's all I got.
Where do they find you at, friend?
We'll put it in our bio, and then they can find everything there or in our episode description.
Period. Well, I wanted to leave y'all with this. If you didn't watch, well, I didn't watch the Golden Globes. I seen the clips like everybody else. And Tiana, she made a beautiful speech, and I just need to leave this off for y'all if y'all haven't heard it. And it goes, quote, "To my brown sisters and little brown girls watching, our softness is not a liability. Our depth is not too much. Our light does not need permission to shine. We belong in every room we walk into. Our voices matter, and our dreams deserve space." So, lovers and friends, please take that with you during this week. Love yourself responsibly. And we're going to put y'all on D&D until next week.
Bye-bye.